short flight, extremely short flight. We're not even going to get to transition altitude. In North America, that's 18,000 feet, and that's when you start. Everybody uses the same barometric pressure on their altimeters and whatnot, so that everybody knows everybody's flying at the same altitude, regardless of what the barometer is saying or how their aircraft is perceiving the air pressure. Anyway, so we're not going to have to worry about that. One thing we are going to have to worry about is the fact that not really worry about it, but it's going to be a little different for a couple of reasons. It's such a short flight. I only have fuel in my wings. So there's going to be a couple things we're going to do slightly different, and maybe I'll point those out. We'll see. So first things first. Let's fire this up, get things started, and maybe I'll do another video after this about flight planning. I already loaded the fuel with what I felt was the proper amount, but I'll do another video and I'll show you guys how to do fuel planning and flight planning and stuff like that. So let's do this, and I'm gonna make mistakes here. I'm not a professional. I haven't been doing this forever. I've been flying a long time on Flight Simulator, but I haven't been doing it very well for a very long time. And some would argue I still don't. So that's all right. That's part of the fun, right? Like, everybody should point out stuff, and I'll ask questions on here that I'm not really sure why I'm doing something a certain way, that sort of thing, and I'll point out things that I'm doing and why I think I'm doing them, and you guys can tell me I'm full of crap and write lots of weird comments and stuff. So have fun with it. I'm not a professional. I'm not just having fun. So I won't take anything to heart. So just please help me improve. And so here we go. Cold and dark to secure checklist. It's long. It's like 5 pages or so. Doesn't sound very long, but it's pretty long. And if you're trying to do a quick flight, so you'll find that it's going to take us a few minutes to get off the ground here. So like I said, we're not going to use ground power. We're just going to use the auxiliary power units. So we're going to fire those up first instead. I don't know if you're really supposed to do that off of battery, but that's what we're going to do, because we are living dangerously. So we're turning on our power, our standby power, making sure our emergency lights are on. The bus transfer, make sure the guards are all down on those guys. So now we got a little bit of power. Our battery is showing. That's standby. We have no generators generating anything, and our battery's getting drawn right now. So we better get that EPU going before we burn out the battery. I heard that Flight Simulator simulates that for something like a 10-minute burn, so it's not very long, and will definitely take longer than that to get off the ground. So, and possibly that long. Hopefully not, but possibly that long if we're before we even start the engines, and that's where we're going to get some more of our power from. Yeah, so normally I just go through the pre-flight procedures with the ground cart and the battery switches and the standby power and all that, but I'm just kind of doing a shortcut there. Now the next thing we want to do is quickly jump back to the aft overhead and turn on our IRSs, the initial reference system, because they take a while to align. In this sim, I believe I have it set so that they happen fairly quickly. They align a lot quicker than they do in real life, but it still takes some time anyway. So we want to get those started. At some point here, we're going to be able to turn on our APU generator and simulate our ground cart, but yep, there it is. The light came on, so now we can turn on our APU generators, and now we have power. So if you check out the generators for the APU, oh, right in the middle, we got 400 volts coming off that puppy, so that's really good. So now we don't have to worry about burning out the battery. It's all good, so we can just take our time with the rest of this. So Charlottetown doesn't really have any gates per se. They have gates, but they don't have the jetways or anything, so they actually use stairs, and they don't model those in this plane right now. Not the 800 anyway. They are coming out with a patch that's supposedly for the iFly that's going to give us some air stairs, so that'd be kind of cool, especially for these smaller airports. let's see. So otherwise, we would normally open doors and put stairs down and stuff like that. We'd normally check our exit lights, which I did right off the bat. Normally we would turn on our passenger signs right now for seat belts and no smoking and whatnot. Mainly because they're getting on the plane and we want them to sit down and let everybody else on the plane so we can get the heck out of here. So the next part is the heat and the anti-ice stuff. So a lot of people I see, they don't turn on their window heats till much later. And that's a little strange because it does take these window heaters to a little while to heat up. So that's one of the first things you want to do. Sure, they're going to turn on, but it takes a little while to heat up. So you want, it's not like a pitot heater or a probe heater that'll you know, heat up and melt off before you even get to the runway if you turn those on early. So I like to turn them on early, and they are part of my checklist, so that works for me. Probe heaters, of course, we're not turning those on, and we don't have any real need for anti-ice or on the wings or the engines right now. It's actually summer here in Charlottetown right now, so. And I should really stop explaining so much and move on because we're eating up too much time. So, air conditioning panel. It's good. Trim air's good. Recirc fans, we got to turn those puppies on to auto. And our pack switches, we got to have those on auto. And isolation valve is open. Engine bleed air, we can turn those on. And of course, it's not part of the checklist, but we do want to have our bleed air from the APUs on because that's the only source of air right now, and we can keep the passengers cool if they're sitting in the back, especially on a warm summer day like it is. Cabin pressure panel, right now it's at 32,000 feet and 0 for the landing, so that's cruise and landing, and we're actually, those will get set later on when we do the FMC stuff, so we can skip that part. I guess you'd normally set it by hand, but I'm lazy, as you'll find out. Very, very lazy. Logo, it's daytime. I suppose we could turn our logo on if we wanted to, but I'm not going to bother. Position lights, I don't know, we can turn them on steady. Anti-collision is still off because we're not moving yet, and we're not about to either, so wing illumination, of course, I'm going to leave that off too. And then the panel lights, nope, don't need them. And of course, taxi, runway, and landing lights are all off, and that's good because we don't, I don't know, maybe that would draw on the battery or the APU or whatever too much, I'm not sure. But you don't really want those on anyway at this time. One thing I didn't notice, or I didn't mention, is when I turn on the APU, a lot of people will turn on a fuel pump